I feel like I have a kind of a theme for today, where we're having a quite a big day of W's. In fact, I just saw Oregon ruled in favor of Trump and will not be hearing any case removed from the ballot there. Leave a like on the video if you appreciate that. You don't have to vote for Trump. Just understand that what the left is doing is stupid. But we've talked about, Twitch, Discord, woke companies having massive layoffs. Pixar earlier this morning, massive layoffs. And it seems like 2024 may be the end of a lot of this ESG, DEI money. A lot of these companies took in massive amounts of money, in particular during the lockdowns and during the VC venture capitalist pushes. And in exchange for that money, they were told to push
the message.
Whoa, why did that happen? That's not my normal dumb message.
The message.
Wait, no, that's not right either.
The message.
What's happening? It worked before. Anyway, there's something going on with my soundboard, and I'm wondering if I know why they went out of business. But now Google has fired hundreds more staff, including 73 teachers and school workers, as a tech giant shuts down childcare facility near Mountain View HQ amid another round of mass layoffs. This is one thing I want to talk about too. People, with your money in 2024. I'm not going to go all civil war on people and all this kind of stuff. But I will say this. Live at or below your means this year. Try to be smart with your money this year. It's an election year. All this kind of stuff's going on. But it seems like these tech companies, Google, Twitch, Discord, Facebook, BlackRock, Citibank, everybody's doing massive layoffs. At the end, it was basically in Q4 of 2023 and in Q1 of 2024. When the rain clouds are pouring in, it generally means you got some rain coming. And I would suspect that these corporations see something on the horizon that maybe we don't see yet. I also think it has a direct result. A direct result is of maybe ESG cash drying up, woke ideology drying up, people going out using apps like Veebs. I actually have a promo code for it for you to get 2 free months. If you go get the Veebs app on your phone, Apple, Android, when it asks you to confirm your phone number and send back a code, if you send back promo code 4444, you get 2 months free. This app makes it super easy for you to just scan a product or put a brand in and see where their political leanings are and see if it aligns with your own. By the way, the app works for both sides of the aisle. Okay. What's nice is people are starting to use this stuff, and it's real easy to use, and boycotting is far more effective than boycotting. So get the Veebs app this weekend, set it up, and then start picking a few items. You don't have to change everything about everything you do. But, pick a few items when you're shopping or a few stores, and then just look them up and see. Link is in the description down below. Grab that. Again, promo code 4444. Search engine giant Google has begun laying off hundreds of employees from both its headquarters and nearby Children's Center as part of cost-cutting measures. The company announced it was laying off more than 700 people from its San Francisco, Sunnyvale, and Mountain View locations, and 4 different notices filed. The tech giant is also permanently shutting down its Mountain View Daycare Center and firing teachers and school workers. On January 11th, Google announced it would be eliminating hundreds of roles, with most of those impacted in augmented reality hardware responsible for Pixel, Nest, and Fitbit. Those layoffs will begin on March 10th and go through August. Imagine working at a place where you're like, man, for the next 8 months, there's going to be layoffs happening. Like, imagine what kind of environment that creates for your employees. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from my old CEO. When I was I was probably 30. I had ascended pretty high up into the company at 30 years old. I had a lot of responsibility. I was in charge of a lot of money. And things changed in the market that wasn't our fault. Like our biggest client basically said, we've decided to split our business between you and someone else. So it was a massive hit to our business. So we had to do like a huge layoff, 60% of our staff. We sat in that office and put everybody's name on the board and went through everything. And I was really young. I hated it. After I went through that layoff, I left the company not that long after because I just, making grown men and women cry and all this stuff was one of the worst experiences of my life. And it had nothing to do with I was fine failing on my own, but this had nothing to do with us. But the advice he gave me, because I was just a kid, I was probably in my 20s, to be honest, mid-20s. When I was going through my team, I had a team of maybe 50 people in my mid-20s that worked for me. And he said, cut once, cut deep. Otherwise, the specter of this hanging over your team for the rest of the year, like when you have all these multiple small rounds of layoffs, that actually shows terrible leadership. Like, you should be able to project basically for the next year what you need to do, and you need to cut once, cut deep, because then you can tell your employees that are remaining there, like, hey, I know yesterday sucked balls, but you guys are all good now. Like, we're not having any more rounds of we're not having any more rounds of layoffs. It sucked. I've laid people off. I've been laid off. It sucks. But that, I think, is the better way to do it. I remember calling my entire team into a conference room. The CEO spoke and said, hey, there's going to be layoffs. You're going to go meet with all your direct reports will meet with your bosses. We went into a room, and I had about 50 people in there with me, and I was just a kid. I was like shaking. I was like taking a Xanax, and I was like shaking. And then you have a list, basically, and you just read it off. And it's like, blah, 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 I love you guys, blah, 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 not your fault, blah, blah, blah. And you just want to say it. You don't want to run it out because no one really cares what you're saying. No one's really remembering it. He told me all this stuff, and it was so valuable. And then it's just like, oh, I read the 15 names of the 60 people that I was able to keep. I was like, you guys can go back to your desk. They left the room. Everyone that was in the room, I'm like, you fired. And you get 2 months severance, go clean out your desks. That kind of stuff. Like, it was an experience that changed my outlook forever in terms of how to run a business, how to work with partners, all this kind of stuff. And I learned a lot as a leader there. And so when I see all these like tech companies doing tiny little layoffs every couple of months, that just shows me that they're poor leaders and that they're poor forecasters. 15 of 60 is 75%. I'm just guessing. I don't remember the exact number. We had a 60% cut, but my team actually didn't have to get cut by 60% because my team was in charge of making the phone ring. So marketing didn't have as deep of a cut. I think we had like a 20 or 30% cut. I basically had to cut like, I don't remember because it was a while ago, but I remember them all crying and I remember it was terrible. But anyway, according to Reuters, Fitbit co-founders James Park and Eric Friedman also fired. Starting in August, 64 teachers and 9 workers at the school will be sent home from the center. According to one of the notices, the cuts come as Google looks toward responsibly investing in our company's biggest priorities. Again, last year, Google said it would lay off 12,000 employees. Earlier this week, Amazon laid off hundreds of employees at its Prime Video and studio units. It also laid off 500 people who work on the live streaming platform Twitch, which was like 35% of their staff. Amazon cut thousands of jobs after a hiring surge during the lockdowns. In March, Amazon announced it planned to lay off 9,000 on top of the 18,000 it said it would lay off in January 2023. There's something going on out there. There's something with all these companies. It seems like the woke money is drying up. The woke ideology is drying up. the money we talked about, there was a report not that long ago that like 44% of all open DE&I positions in the market were reduced. Or the market, there were only 44% of the jobs open like now as this time last year, something like that. It had dropped by 44%. Some companies had dropped 55% in staffing in these departments. When times get tough, you keep the people that make the phone ring, you keep the people that make you money, you keep the people that keep the lights on. It's Bidenomics. Now that times are getting tough, we've had 3 years of awesome Bidenomics. I just saw an article this morning, I'm not kidding you, that said we can expect the Big Mac price at McDonald's to reach, I feel like, I'm actually going to look it up real time because I don't want to get it wrong because it was already insane. We could look forward to the Big Mac price reaching $15 for a Big Mac, thanks to minimum wage hikes. It's going to be a wild 2024. Live at or below your means in 2024. Don't forget to check out the Veebs app, VEEBS, promo code 4444. That's when they ask you to verify the code. Just give them 4444 and you'll get 2 months free. Let me know what you think of the app. I'm having fun. I feel like it's saving me money, and it also makes me feel better about the stuff I am actually buying. So check that out. Link in the description. We'll talk to you again real soon.